welcome back to the Underdog podcast. Today we have Behind the Business, more of a story than anything, I feel like. It's probably not going to be a super long episode, but we were selected to be on a TV show. We'll make it sound cooler than it might be. I don't know. It's pretty cool overall, but we're selected to be on a show. It's called Greenlight Maine. It's specific to Maine. We're in the college edition, and essentially it's like Maine's version of Shark Tank. So we get to pitch to a panel of judges, and we go up against, how many other brands were in it? Was it 8?
8 total. Yeah, 8 get picked for the TV show. She said there were 45 applicants, so it's all sorts of different entrepreneurs, obviously for the college edition, so of college age students. And it's to encourage entrepreneurship in the state of Maine and help bolster the economy and keep businesses growing in the state of Maine. So it's a cool idea.
Yeah, and it was really cool for us, just the whole experience too, because I think, and I don't want to speak for you here, but for me, a few weeks ago, like a month ago, when we were like, yeah, we'll be on Greenlight Maine, like, yeah, it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but the more we got closer, we looked more into it, we were like, this is actually pretty sick. Like, it's a pretty cool process overall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once we started, I would say 2 weeks out, maybe a week and a half out from when we actually went to the news station. We started getting the script and what we wanted to say. And generally speaking, like when we pitch to investors, we don't really have a script. We have bullet points. We know where we want to take it, dependent on that specific person. But for Greenlight Maine, you have 3 minutes. Mm. And I think that was what triggered us to turn to a script, because normally we would just improv it and we have a general idea of where we're going with it, but to squeeze everything into 3 minutes, I think that was probably the toughest part, would you say?
Oh yeah, definitely. And like you said, when we meet with investors, it's an hour-long meeting.
Yeah.
They've seen the deck beforehand, and we've done it so many times that what we want to say about the brand. And yeah, with the 3 minutes is definitely the toughest, because especially for something like us, we have so much to say. It's established. There's so much we want to get across, and that's difficult to do in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're pitching to move on to the finale and then ultimately to win it for a cash prize. But alongside the cash is the exposure and just the visibility that go alongside with it. So you want to get your main points across in 3 minutes. So yeah, that's why we turn to a script. Mm-hmm. So we could make sure that, okay, we hit everything. Like, you have to be very meticulous with the words you choose to get your point across.
Yeah, and what you want to focus on, depending on what they're looking for. They give you basically like a criteria of what they're looking for. So it's there's 3 of them, right? It's scalability.
5 of them.
5 of them, okay. Feasibility.
Yep.
And what were the rest of them?
Scalability, feasibility, innovation, ability to grow in Maine, and how you'd use the money.
How would you use the money? Yeah. So we took it. It's tough because the way we look at it, we're further along than most of the people who enter into this show or this series, because it's the college edition. So a lot of them are going there with a concept, just an idea, where they're pre-revenue. They don't have any revenue or anything like that. And obviously we do. We're in a couple chains. We've been doing this for a few years now. So when we first thought about it, we were like, are we at a disadvantage or are we at an advantage in terms of getting the cash prize at the end? Because maybe they want to give it to somebody who's not as far along in the process. But we decided to take the angle of, let's show off as much as we can of what we've done so far, where we're at and where we're going this year. And the end goal of potentially raising some eyebrows of people who are watching, and maybe that opens up new doors, new avenues, whether it's on the investor front or even if it's who knows, maybe there's a buyer of a chain that's watching and they're like, who are these guys? And maybe we start getting, some inbound.
Yeah. And now that we've done it, I think we made the right decision by deciding to, not show off, but like really provide solid evidence of what we've done and tell them what we've been able to accomplish as college kids, as students in Maine. Like, hit on all their points, but kind of like, look at what we've done and look at where we're going. And I think that was the right decision, because we did talk about taking the angle of like, not downplaying it, but in order to kind of fit, we could really use this 10 grand to help us out. Mm-hmm. Where, like you said, we got the point across that, yeah, the $10,000 cash prize isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot for us, but it's the opportunity for a Maine Angel or Maine Venture Fund to see it and really, you know, make a difference. And I think we took a chance on it, and I think that was the right decision.
Yeah.
Now that we've seen it and even talked to the judges, we told the one judge there, like, the dilemma we were in, like, are we at an advantage or a disadvantage because we've accomplished so much already? Like, yeah, could the 10 grand help those kids out with their menu project? Absolutely. That would probably, you know, mean the world to them and make a huge difference. Is 10 grand going to help us at this point? Not really. It'll get us a few cans. Like, you know, it's not going to be a game changer for us. But I think taking the direction of, like, who's going to see this is, you know, what we did it for.
Yeah, and the experience overall. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that whole experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And so it was at the news station called WGME in Maine. And so this is going to air in the middle of April, and it's going to be on numerous channels but it's going to be aired all across Maine. And but we did it at WGME, and that was the first time that I've been in an actual studio for something like that, where it's all set up, it's staged. You know, they have the whole panel of judges. Just
Looks
like
good.
You think of Shark Tank, and this is like a smaller version of that, in a sense. But I think let's walk them through kind of the day. We got there. The time they recommended that we get there was like 8:30 in the morning. We got there at 8. We were legit the first people there. There was nobody in the building. Lights were off, doors were locked. We're like, well, I guess we're going to sit in the parking lot for the next 30 minutes.
Practice the pitch a few more times.
We
had it down pat.
Get that down, yeah. And then we basically got in there. They showed us around. Really cool. You know, the cameramen were there setting up, and, you know, they were getting the lighting right and everything like that. And that was when it really hit me, where I was like, we're going to be on a TV show. Like, this is crazy, you know? So that was really cool. But then we went in this conference room, and, you know, they got us all breakfast and coffee and everything like that. And we had probably the better part of an hour and a half to really just sit there and wait, because they ended up, the other brand that we're going against pitched before us. So we were practicing, waiting, and it was funny because right before we had it down, we had everything down, everything was good to go. And we were practicing our pitch like the last couple times, and I was like, I slipped up on a couple words. I was like, oh God, what's going on here? Like,
Pressure's getting to you.
But that was funny, and it does, like, they suggest that you don't memorize it, which I understand that. I would much rather not memorize it, but like I said, like we were talking about before, that 3-minute window is so tough to get everything in. But needless to say, we go out there, we killed it. I thought, you know, they tell you about the process of walking out there, where you have to stand. You know, they'll call you in. It's like the whole lights, camera, action kind of thing.
Yeah. And clap.
Yeah.
And then it'd start. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was when we first went out there, we were next to the TV screen. You were on my left. I was standing facing the judges, and the host was there. And the camera guy goes, and clap. And she claps. And then she just starts talking. I was like, this is going.
It's live,
It's
baby.
live.
Yeah.
Let's go. Which honestly gave me a new perspective on people that do live media. That is tough.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough, you know, because they're going to edit a couple things, a few or a few pauses, whether it's us or the judges or the host. Whereas live TV, man, like that's just green light, and whatever happens.
Yeah.
You know, that's where all those bloopers come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens, but no, it went really well. I think we even said before, our biggest advantage, aside from the product and what we've been able to accomplish, is just our confidence. Like, the big stage and the bright lights doesn't intimidate us, just because of some of the people that we've interacted with and some of the meetings we've had previously. Like, was I nervous? Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
like, my heart was pounding, but like,
yeah.
we speak with confidence. Like, remember, we watched a number of previous seasons of Greenlight Maine episodes and, you know, previous finales, and you can tell the people are just shaking in their boots. They're so nervous and stuttering. Like, you can sense it in their voice how nervous they are. And like, we didn't have that. Like, we spoke with confidence. I think I messed one, like, just didn't say exactly what I had memorized, but you wouldn't even know. Like, and you speak
Well, that's the
with
thing. You
confidence.
practice it so many times, and you already know where it's going and what you're talking about. That even a few exchanges of words that aren't necessarily in the quote unquote script, it still plays out fine. But I do understand, like, a lot of people, like I said before, they're in concept phase. So imagine when we were just first starting, where we didn't understand from top to bottom what was going on in the business and where we're at and everything. Like, that is tough, man.
Yeah.
And to pitch it and to try to get somebody
to
buy into what your concept is that you don't even really know what it is yet, because you think of where we were at when we started to where we are today, it's totally different. So I will say that it is tough to do that. And then you add in the factor of probably everybody's first time being on TV.
Yeah.
You know, you got bright lights shining in your face. You got panel adjust. Like, there's a lot.
3 cameras and dudes behind them. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you get mic'd up before. Then you got the wire.
Yeah.
You got to put it in your back pocket, like everything like that. But no, it was really cool. And I think I enjoyed the most of that was when we actually off air, when we got to go up to the judges and talk to them, because we got to expand on certain things. Like, it's so tough because even when they asked us questions when we were on air, it was like, I got to get this out as fast as I can in a short period of time, because that was one thing they put emphasis on, is like, you know, if you take too long to answer a question,
you won't get another.
You won't get enough, which I think we got like 4 or 5, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess to give like background, the host introduces you, throws it to us. We give our 3-minute pitch. Each judge then got to ask a question. I think, we got 5 in. I think we got back to those 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they ask on air. The judges ask questions. They kind of set you up. They're pretty basic questions, like
super basic,
for you to sound good, which we knew ahead of time that that's what they do. And then, it ends, and then you get to go up, shake their hand, meet the judges, and then you get to have we had probably 10 minutes. They got to try out samples, ask more in-depth questions, really look at the cans, which was cool. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you filmed a little outro with the
other
funny. Guys.
That was ridiculous. I honestly want to see that part too, because I've never seen something so simple made so complex in the span of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. Like, you're shaking somebody's hand, and the guy, we're going to talk about the one where they literally just told us what to do. And basically you film, this is a funny piece too, that I didn't really know we were doing, honestly, beforehand, but like, you film you winning and you losing. So,
and they clip it together when it airs in April. Yeah,
so they're like,
whoever
all right,
wins.
Underdog wins. So now the other people that we're going against, they shake our hands and then they walk off into the corner. And, we do the whole thing, the whole scene, and they're still standing there when they
shake our hands, and they stood there like the guy was snapping in the background like, get off the stage. That was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. But no, overall, that was a good experience. I'm excited to see it. Overall, I think good or bad, whether we win or don't, like, we got something out of it already. Being where it is now, and I'm sure there'll be further conversation with whoever's watching that might want to contact us, or even something like you said with Maine Venture Fund is another opportunity that we can go to from here. So, anything else on that day overall?
No, it was a ton of fun, a great experience, like you said, and like the visibility will be awesome. So we'll find out in about a month if we move on, and then how it works is they select 3 finalists out of the 8 that made it to the televised round. They pick 3 of us to move on, and then we film the finale in June. And then the finale, all 3 winners get money. First place is 10 grand, second place is 7,500, and third is 5 grand. Yeah. So, I mean, I think we have a good shot of moving on. I mean, we only see one other competitor, obviously the one that filmed with us, and there's 6 other companies, doing their thing as well. So, I think we got a good chance of being one of the 3. And again, it's just another opportunity to film, get, who's going to see this one type of thing. So I think it'll be good. I think we got a good chance. I'm glad we did it. I know Jeremy, one of the professors at UNE, was really pushing for us to do it last year even, and we did it, and then we didn't do the video. I'm like, we're not doing this. We don't have time. And then even this year, we just submitted the form without the video, and then he emailed us saying, hey, give us a quick video pitch. You came in the house. We filmed that thing in about 30 seconds. One take, no practice, just blah, 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 blah. Threw it over to me. I talked, you talked. thanks, see you later, sent it off. And then we got an email like that week saying you've been selected.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny because it was the last night to submit your application for Greenlight.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah. And also too, like in relation to Shark Tank, like I was thinking about this because like you said, the judges really set you up with a question that is on brand with what you're doing, but also like it's a layup. You know what I mean? For the questions that they ask. On Shark Tank, that is not the case. They will pick you up. And it obviously it's airing globally, you know, or wherever it is. If it's just in the United States, I don't know.
We have a Canadian one, Canadian Shark Tank.
No way.
It's called Dragon's Den.
It's crazy.
Kevin O'Leary's on it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
He's on Dragon's Den too. Because he owns, is he the one who owns all the Boston pizzas?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not too sure.
One of them owns Boston Pizza, and that's a big chain in Canada, Boston Pizza. So he's on Dragon's Den.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's way cooler than Shark Tank, obviously.
Oh, God. But I just remember watching those Shark Tank episodes, and I'm like, they are ruthless.
Oh, yeah. And there's times you see that, too, like the contestants, they don't really have an answer.
Yeah.
To some of the questions.
Yeah, and I remember I was watching one recently. The guy gave his pitch. There was one question. He didn't even get to answer it, and they're like, I'm out. All four of them. That was it.
Thanks, Sharks.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, fuck me.
Better luck next time, I guess.
No kidding.
But yeah, overall good experience. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If there's anything you want us to talk about or anything you'd just like to hear, we'll gladly take any suggestions that you have.
We got to put the suggestion box back out on the story every once in a while. That was good.
Do got to do that, yeah.
Some questions that we can answer at the end of the episodes tied into the concepts, and I think that'd be good.
100%, yeah. You can watch this video format on YouTube. We're also on all other audio-based platforms as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, numerous others. We post snippets on YouTube as well. So if you want to just catch a little brief snippet there, we got those on there, as well as Instagram. That's our main platform where all of our other content goes down as well. So be sure to follow us on Instagram at @underdog_brand. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.